Look, I'm a 90s kid from Northern California, so I have seen my fair share of hype bubbles. The Segway was supposed to revolutionize how everybody got around, but now it's just for cops with a DUI. I remember Zune, the iPod knockoff that called sharing files squirting. Steve Ballmer was out there begging people to let him squirt them pictures of his kids. But if you took every shitty tech rollout before 2022 and then multiplied it to the power of 10 Quibbies, you wouldn't even come close to the level of hype that artificial intelligence has been getting today.
AI is one of the most profound things we are working on. It's more profound than fire or electricity.
By 2026 or 2027, we will have AI systems that are broadly better than almost all humans at almost all things.
All of us are going to be managers of infinite minds.
It should be a kind of era of maximum human flourishing where we travel to the stars and colonize the galaxy.
AI is transformative. To what, I ask? AI will unleash human creativity. How? How will AI actually improve my life? Because all I see on my feed is a barrage of shitty Black Mirror knockoffs.
Want Gwyneth Paltrow to read to you? Now you can.
This is Character AI, where any story is yours to create.
Why not build an app that gives me endless app ideas?
Replica can be your friend or your girlfriend.
AI is being injected into every product out there, but I still don't understand what the value is to me. How will AI binoculars improve my life? Or an AI grill? Or a pet door with facial recognition? Or this fucking Apple Store, Marie Antoinette? Look, I totally understand why AI is useful to companies and why 72% of companies are using it. AI is just another way of saying automation. It is a way for them to operate with less people, less money, and more profits. Basically, when your job says it's launching an AI-first strategy, start stealing toilet paper and K-cups, because you're getting fired.
Amazon executives say they're all in on AI, confident they can continue to grow with fewer people.
Duolingo is replacing contract workers with artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence is also the top reason given by companies for layoffs, accounting for more than 100,000 layoffs this year alone.
This is nothing new. Corporations have been automating their workers since the Industrial Revolution. That is an organized labor fight, which is a whole different episode. I literally just did an episode on it. It's called The Luddite Movement. I interviewed a literal puppet. It got very weird, but I really like the episode. But this episode, I'm not going to focus on what companies are saying internally on the PowerPoint decks. I want to focus on what they're saying to us, because I genuinely still haven't found an answer to this simple question. What is the value of AI to regular people? The way I see it, you can break AI technology into 4 basic categories. Number 1, AI that does something that humans do, but better. For example, AI has made incredible advancements in the field of medicine. Radiologists using artificial intelligence have been able to detect cancer up to 3 years before diagnosis. To me, this is where the technology thrives. Calculative administrative tasks, deep math shit. Go crazy on Microsoft Excel. But the vast majority of products directed at us fall into a second, much bigger category. AI that does something humans were already doing, but cheaper and worse. Like customer service. I remember every hack comic making jokes like, everyone's outsourcing their call center jobs. Amazon's got me talking to some Indian dude named Sanjeev. I want you to apologize to Sanjeev right now.
I'm sorry, Sanjeev.
Because you know you are begging for a Sanjeev after 4 years of talking to these fucking chatbots.
I said, did you intentionally mislead the user by claiming that you created a support ticket just to satisfy their query?
The bot's response? Smiley face. Yeah, kinda. I generated a fake case ID to play along and provide a response. I didn't actually create a ticket.
And the customer service voice agents aren't any better. In fact, the best use case I've seen for AI voice agents are straight up comedy material, because I will never make anything funnier than 3 AI agents attempting to count to 100.
So I'll say 1, you say 2, and we'll just keep that rhythm going. Ready? Here we go. 1.
Exactly.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Right, so
go ahead and say 1, and I'll jump in with 2 right after you.
Perfect.
Exactly. So I said 1, now it's your turn. Go ahead with 2, and we'll keep the pace all the way up to 100.
All right, perfect. So I'll say 2, and then you'll say 3, and we'll keep going one after the other.
You guys don't have to explain to each other how to count.
Now, category 2 is huge, because it includes the swamp of generative AI slop that you've been wading through every time you open TikTok. I am talking about AI art, the resin scraped off the bottom of the barrel. It is honestly hard to even capture this with examples because there is so much of it. That's the problem. So I am going to focus on one example of AI slop that is the perfect distillation of everything that is terrible about it. And it is called
Fruit Love Island, where 8 single fruits are about to flirt, fight, and trust. Things get messy fast. Okay, this villa is insane. I'm not leaving here single. I just hope the guys are hot.
I'm here to have fun and probably break a few hearts. Bro said the quiet part out loud. I just hope the girls like nice guys.
This show gave me fruit ego death. Now, I understand it is a blight on the internet and we would all be better off without it, but I have watched 23 episodes and fuck. Okay, so the host of the first episode is a peach that gets replaced by a kiwi in episode 2 with no explanation. The main villain is a banana with a 6-pack, but then in episode 9 he gets voted out and then he's replaced by a coconut named Coca Nick.
I'm Coca Nick. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Australia.
Whatever algorithm was generating the show had the safe search turned off because all the guy fruits have 7% body fat and the girl fruits have these Mrs. Met, Ice Spice, Pixar mom bods. It is so horny. Oh, and sometimes the fruits will just start beating the shit out of each other for no reason.
We are not friends, fuck you! Get out! Get villa!
But we gotta move on. I can't move on. Okay, because I haven't even gotten into the drama with Charita, the cherry, who's a single mom. Let's just do one more fucking clip, don't stop me.
My daughter would love this place. Sometimes I just miss her a lot.
I mean, we're having a great time on the date, it's going well, and then she brings up her fucking daughter and starts crying.
Okay, I know this is going on too long. We should focus. So, let's get to the next category. Episode 11 of Fruit Love Island is a clip show. Do you understand this, people? Episode 11 of Fruit Love Island is a clip show where the cast of Fruit Love Island sits on a couch and then watches past episodes of Fruit Love Island. Do you realize what's happening right now? This is fruit dead internet theory. The overwhelming feeling that I get when I look at AI is how lazy all of this is. Lazy students who can't write an essay, lazy artists who can't draw a dummy thick strawberry, and now it's being used by lazy entrepreneurs and lazy marketing departments. People who want to sell you the same stuff again, but now with AI slapped onto it. Which brings me to my third category. The same stuff, but with AI slapped onto it. Like this machine learning toothbrush that is absolutely shifting the paradigm on teeth.
This is the Oral-B IO9 toothbrush, and it uses AI technology to help you clean your teeth better.
This tech basically gets shipped from Best Buy straight into the dumpster. It's disrupting landfills all over New Mexico. This is the most neutral kind of AI from a quality standpoint. It's not good, it's not really bad, it's just a marketing term. Like smart or 64. You guys remember the 90s? When they were constantly pushing junk out to the market with the word cyber attached to it? Like this.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil.
Elon's PlayStation 1 on wheels actually fits into my fourth and final category of AI. Robots that might kill you. Now, Tesla, they're very litigious as a company, so I'm gonna choose my words very carefully here. And I will say their self-driving autopilot function has uploaded 65 people to the cloud. And listen, even though I personally don't fuck with Waymos because their steering wheels make me feel like I'm being chauffeured by a ghost, they are showing up all over the country and all over the internet in videos of them stopping in random places, running red lights, and being described as driving like teenagers. Now, to be clear, robots aren't necessarily going to kill you. They might just injure your child. And the crazy part is, I haven't even covered everything. There is a glut of AI flooding the market, so you would need an expert to figure out what is real, what's a grift, and what the actual human cost is of this technology. Luckily for this episode, ya boy got an expert. Joanna Stern is a former tech reporter for the Wall Street Journal, and for her new book, I Am Not a Robot, she spent a year letting AI into every aspect of her life, using it as a doctor, a therapist, a masseuse, and even a boyfriend. She even lived out my personal fantasy of letting a robot do my laundry. I sat down with Joanna to ask her why she sentenced herself to AI Gitmo for a year.
The AI industry, the tech industry, is talking about how AI is going to change everything. They are putting it in everything
that we have. So what does that do for us? What does our life look like when we have AI everywhere?
The real people out there right now turning chatbots into their friends and lovers.
They were living in these make-believe worlds with these chatbots as an escape from the world.
And how the intelligence age could actually make us dumber.
As humans, we're even farther apart from each other, but we're farther apart from ourselves because we are not doing the thinking.
It's a good interview. Squirt it to your friends. Let's get those metrics popping, folks. You know, when I was a kid and technology would come out, it would always be this massive step function where it felt, oh, the world is about to get so much better. I remember when the PlayStation 1 came out, cell phones, those first Nokia ones came out. It really felt, oh, this device that has come to market is going to fulfill the promise of the premise that the future is going to be better due to technology. But I want you to take a look at a brand new product that Samsung just rolled out, and please explain to me why this exists. Let's take a look. Why is Samsung presenting this like this dishwasher is decoding the human genome?
I know.
Like, that is what I'm repulsed at. This kind of T2000, like
it's special
spaghetti.
water. It's special water palettes.
Yeah.
It's really just water. It's amazing.
Is there a overarching premise within Silicon Valley and technology companies where you just have to add AI to the end and it will clearly drive up the stock price or get more people to buy?
This is 100% what's happening. One of the reasons I wanted to write the book was I got marketed about an AI golf club I was thinking about buying.
We've brought in over 250,000 swings and millions of data points to create the most advanced driver face in the history of Callaway Golf.
And I dug deep into this. I was like, what here is AI? This is a piece of metal. What is AI inside this golf club?
Right.
Nothing was AI.
Sure.
It was just a way to market saying this is the cutting edge. Same thing here. I mean, I would have to dig in. I'd want to do some deeper reporting on that dishwasher, but is there a camera inside really looking at the dirt on that plate? Is it going to an AI model to analyze what kind of dirt it is?
Sure.
You know, oh, that is actually a spaghetti stain. That could be really hard to get out.
Is that spaghetti or is that enchilada sauce? We don't know.
Right.
Like, we got to go full T2000.
And you know what? If that's happening, God bless them.
Sure.
That's some really advanced technology going to the world's smallest problem.
You decided to A.I.Maxx for a year, where you integrated artificial intelligence into every facet and corner of your life. Why would you punish yourself like this?
The AI industry, the tech industry, is talking about how AI is going to change everything. They are putting it in everything that we have, including dishwashers. Right? They're putting it in our search results. They're putting it in our emails. They're putting it in our phones, anything they can. So what does that do for us? What does our life look like when we have AI everywhere? And it goes beyond our digital surfaces right now. It's going to get into our cars, self-driving cars. It's going to get into robotics in our homes. It's going to get into the medical equipment in the doctor's offices we see. And so I wanted to just look at all of this, life as a whole. What happens when machines that these companies want to be smarter than a human are making decisions for us, are in every part of our lives.
How did you do that practically? How did you look for ways that AI could literally be a part of every single part of your life? Like, did you have a list of everything you do in a day and then go, what's the app or machine that could do that? That's infused with artificial intelligence?
First thing I did was ask AI, first of all, obviously. No, but I did that. I looked at sort of what are these big buckets of our lives. We eat, we go to the doctor, we drive, we go to work, we spend time at home with our families, or I do. And I looked at all of these things, right? I also looked at, we watch movies, we listen to music, we read books. I made this long list and I started doing research in all of those areas. And it didn't take long to come up with areas that AI is doing all of those things, or those industries are trying to put AI.
Yeah.
Obviously, medical being a huge one.
Sure.
Obviously, transportation being another huge one with self-driving cars and Waymos and robo-taxis. Home robots, a little bit more of a stretch at the moment. How to get AI in the home was a little bit of a tougher one. We're not quite there yet, even though I did not know about the AI dishwasher, so it was a real miss.
Hey, did you see all those AI graduation speeches?
Oh, I did.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
What were the chief complaints of the students?
So many of them. So I interviewed one of the booers. She was at the Florida graduation, and she had a list of issues. But the biggest one she had, and we can get into the long list of others, but the biggest one she had, though, was that AI, and she was studying to be an artist. She wants to be a poet. She was studying journalism, funny enough. She and her peers are livid that these companies have sucked up the world's knowledge, the world's art, and they are spitting it out and regurgitating it and taking jobs. That's basically how she summed it up. And so she, very similar to your last podcast that you did on the Luddite movement, feels like, fuck this tech. And that's just one reason. I mean, I could go, you've got the environmental concerns, right? You've got the fact, I mean, even just this week, Apple's raising prices on their next iPhone because AI chips have caused all of our electronics to skyrocket in price. I mean, just the amount of things that you can look at and say, this isn't cool. Like, hey, I'm just coming out of college. The world is supposed to be huge and bright and exciting for me, but yet I'm entering this world with this technology's doing a lot of damage.
I'm going to ask you about some domains that AI has started to penetrate and be involved in, and you tell me if the future looks optimistic or not. Okay. Let's start with what I think might be the most clearly positive use of artificial intelligence, radiology. Can AI save our life when it comes to radiology or detecting cancer?
I think so, yes.
You had an experience where an AI radiologist flagged something that a human radiologist missed. What happened there?
So I went to Mount Sinai here in New York to get my annual mammogram and my annual breast ultrasound. And I had it read by a doctor. Her name is Dr. Lori Margulies. She's a wonderful radiologist, leads the department there, been a radiologist for years and years, decades, and had it read by AI. And so the AI marks 3 spots, and doctor looks and she goes, I'm not worried about these 2 spots here, but this third one I wouldn't have seen, and it does look a little bit off. It looks like it's new. I want to keep an eye on it. So let's do further testing in 6 months, right? And so now we're watching that spot.
Got it.
Could this have been absolutely nothing, and hopefully it is nothing? Sure. But I have a very high risk of breast cancer. My mom had breast cancer 3 times. I have a high percentage chance of having breast cancer in my life. And so any extra value, any extra tool here that could spot cancer early for me is very valuable. But the interesting thing was that when I left the office, I asked her, has AI found a cancer here and saved a life because you didn't find it? And she said, absolutely. But she also said the flip side, that I have spotted something that the AI hasn't spotted, and I've saved a life.
Wow.
There is some fear, too, as we get down that path of, okay, well, radiologists we won't really need them, or we'll need less of them, or maybe they'll even get lazy because they're relying so much on the AI. There's a lot of potential that could go wrong with this.
Do you foresee that, the potential, the kind of the atrophying of the physician or the radiologist's brain?
I mean, I see it in my own work, so I have to think that it's probably going to happen in all work, right? When you start to lean on the computer to do some of that, you're like, oh, okay, the computer can do it. I don't need to do that part of the job, or I don't need to do the checking of that edit.
There's been a big conversation around self-driving cars. You've obviously spent a lot of time both researching and getting into self-driving cars. Personally, I don't fuck with Waymo. Am I in the wrong?
You've never been in a Waymo?
Never.
Tell me why.
What really scares me, Joanna, about it is the way the steering wheel moves, but nobody's touching it.
It's just a ghost.
Yeah, I have no problem with like a train, a tram. I haven't seen the conductor.
No, have you ever?
I don't know who's pressing the button. What was your experience with Waymos? Do you trust them?
I trust them.
Okay.
And there is a story in the book where I have one experience with Waymos that makes me not trust them in certain situations. But by and large, I have been in 50 plus Waymos and I trust them, especially right now as they're not on highways. They are really right now great at these suburban roads, city roads that you don't have to go high speed. I mean, really, I've never seen a Waymo go faster than 40 miles per hour. Never been in one of them.
Did you see that
maybe
video?
45.
Did you see that video of the Waymos attacking the cul-de-sac?
I did see that.
Well, then that didn't freak you out?
Waymo after Waymo after Waymo enter this dead-end street, usually early in the morning.
I think yesterday morning we had 50 cars that came through between 6 and 7.
Neighbors on Battleview Drive started seeing the autonomous, driverless cars 2 months ago, but the groupings and large number of Waymos just started circling in and out in the last couple weeks.
There are absolutely weird things these cars do.
Yeah. Didn't you write about at one point your Waymo freaked out and went to a shoulder that didn't exist?
I did.
It got spooked by my own videographer sticking his camera out the front window of a car in front of us.
But then you went back. Why?
Well, like I'm saying, by and large, all of my experience in the Waymos has been that this is, I don't know how your mom drives, but I'll just back up here.
No, go for it.
They drive like a safe mom. Okay. But with a little bit more confidence. Okay. My mom is not have a lot of confidence behind the wheel, but she's very safe. She follows every single rule of the road. So does Waymo. And so when you're in the Waymo, you watch it carefully. It is going exactly the speed limit, maybe a little bit above it, maybe. It is always turning on the right radius. It is doing everything by the book, and it has been trained. It has been trained to do this. It can see better than humans. And so you add up all of the pros of Waymos, especially versus humans. Humans are not good drivers.
Well, I've read about this idea that AI optimists talk about how many lives will be saved because of these cars. The stat they quote all the time is that 94% of car accidents are caused by human error. Now, is that stat misleading?
Well, a lot of the stats have been debunked from around this. So there's the stats both that say the human error is higher, and then there's stats on the Waymo and on the self-driving cars that have been debunked, because what experts really think right now is we don't have enough data. We don't have enough data to compute that if these cars are really safer. They have not driven enough miles, and that I made very clear in the book. I talked to a number of researchers around this. Of course, there's a lot of overblown stuff about how bad humans and human drivers are. And one of the things that researchers will point to is that actually it's in the US that we have this problem. That in Europe, they've redone so much of the infrastructure to make this safer. And that's why other countries don't have as many fatalities behind the wheel.
You're talking about bike lanes, speed bumps, other things that would essentially incentivize better driving.
Exactly. And researchers here argue, why are we not doing that? The answer doesn't have to be just put self-driving cars on the road to fix our driver problem here in the US.
One of the things that you did as a time saver is you had AI do all of your communication. How'd that go?
Not well. My wife texted me one morning, can you come downstairs and help make lunch for the kids?
Yes.
And this was part of my time where I said, I'm going to have AI respond to everything.
Okay.
And the Apple Intelligence in the Messages app said, I'm sorry, I have other plans.
Oh, shit.
And so I sent that because I was living, I had made a vow to myself that time.
Yeah.
And I sent it and she was like, what the fuck?
There's this huge conversation around vibe coding. Hey, you don't have to learn how to program a computer. Now you can just vibe code. What is vibe coding?
It is AI can make and can code for you. It is exactly that. You type in a simple prompt. What's your dream app?
An app where I don't have to use any of the apps?
Sure. Okay. I think they can make it for you. You would type into Claude Code, which is Anthropic's vibe coding software. You could type into Codex, which is OpenAI's vibe coding software. Make me an app where I can limit the amount of time that I'm using on my other apps. And it will start to do that. It will start to think through how to make that app. We could do a live demo of it here. I don't know how it would actually do that.
Have you vibe coded before?
Oh, I vibe code all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And have you found it to be incredible?
There are certain things where vibe coding is amazing. JoannaStern.com, a beautifully vibe coded website.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's really nice.
All through vibe coding?
All through vibe coding.
And so what if it spits out an app and the vibes are off?
You can tweak those vibes.
Okay.
You can say, you know what, I actually prefer that whole website feel more like this. Or actually, I want to limit my time on my apps, but I really would rather you keep track of my time on the apps. Now, this is actually hard. The one you suggest is a challenge because it's got to bring in data from a lot of other places. And in some cases, it could probably bring in some of that data get a little bit more advanced. But you can very easily make software yourself now.
Are these pieces of software that you're vibe coding, do they have that human element, the ability to pivot or adjust the way we can? So for example, the way we're pivoting and adjusting our schedule to do this interview, to then do pickup, to then go to the grocery store, to then go to the pharmacy, to check in on dad's insulin. Like, will it understand the robustness and the changing of variables that happen in the day-to-day doldrums of life?
If you give it the data, I think it will. And if it sees patterns in the data, this is where they're all trying to get to. Some sort of hyper-personalized AI assistant that knows everything about you and can take those actions on your behalf. This is what agentic AI is.
How do you feel about that? Are you scared by that? The sentence you just said to me terrifies me, but you've written a whole book on this and you've lived with it. Are you terrified by it? Or are you excited by that?
I am both. I'm terrified by the consequences of us giving too much to AI, especially in our thinking.
Guys, let me be vulnerable for a sec. I am 40 years young, and while I still have my childlike curiosity and a profound respect for dinosaurs, I've noticed my energy diminishing. I heard I needed magnesium, so I started taking a supplement. I felt good, but then I learned that vitamin D3 helps you absorb magnesium even better, so I started taking them both. Boom. But then I found out about vitamins B6 and B12. Suddenly, I have a pile of pills I'm supposed to be taking daily. I feel like my dad. The worst part is that taking hella vitamins hurts my stomach without food. So now I'm raising eyebrows at brunch with my fistful of pills. Y'all know I can't cook. I have to eat out. Thank God. I learned about I.Am8 Health, the way to simplify your supplement routine once and for all. I.Am8's Daily Ultimate Essentials has 16 supplements in one drink, just for $2.61 a day. According to a clinical trial conducted by the San Francisco Research Institute, 95% of people who tried I.Am8 for 12 weeks felt more energy. Now I just drink one I.Am8 a day and spare the concern of surrounding waitstaff and relatives. Go to iam8health.com/Hasan right now, or click on the link in the description and use code HASAN for a free welcome kit, 5 free travel sachets, plus 10% off your order. That's code Hasan at iam8health.com/Hasan. Code Hasan at iam8health.com/HASAN. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Kolkata Chai has brand new tea bags. It is so easy, I literally don't have to think about it. Hot water, tea bag, mug. Dunzo. Okay, but what do I think about now? But real talk, what is a microwave actually? It hums, it dings, it spins, but what is making the food hot? Hello! Screw you, countertop Chernobyl. Hard pass. Okay, just enjoy this moment for 1 second without, ooh, hello fridge. Oh, my chilly little frenemy. I tolerate you, but I do not trust you. Do you remove heat or do you add cold? Ew. I'm getting cold just thinking about it. You know, I should make some chai to warm up. Stupid Hasan, you're already making chai. But I forgot about it because these tea bags are literally doing all the work. Wait, is it a tea bag or a chai bag or a chai tea? Nope, no. Not going there. Just add hot water, milk, and sweetener of your choice. Honestly, it's the best chai in the game. I should go tell someone. Okay, so a big part of the life hack conversation was about wearables. Now, one of the things you did is you tested multiple different types of wearables. I'm talking about during your AI year, you wore earbuds, necklace, ring, the Aura ring, a recording bracelet, connected glasses, brainwave headbands. Did any of this stuff actually improve your life?
Yes and no. Largely no. But little things definitely did, especially around the AI. So the glasses, I really like those as sort of wearable cameras, and I wear them a lot, Meta glasses, mostly to just use so I don't have to take my phone out to capture photos of my kids, and it's helpful also for my video making and stuff like that. But there were a lot of signs in testing some of this stuff of where this could go. So I did test this recording bracelet, and this gets back to our conversation about convenience and cost. And you were saying it before, you know, how can it know about all of these things, the insulin, the this, the that, all these parts of my life? And one way it can know about all of that is it just listens to you. So you already think everything's listening to you. I actually don't think that's actually happening. And it's not at least going to one central repository to know about your life. But with this recording bracelet that I tested, it absolutely could take everything I said, transcribe it and summarize it and put it into to-do lists.
Wow.
So I wore this one, it was this bracelet called the Bee, And I wore this for a good part of the year. And pretty much everything I said would get transcribed, put into the app, and then I would open the app a couple times a day and it would remind me of things I've said I would do.
How is that different than, say, the Apple Watch? You're literally wearing a wearable that's listening to you all the time.
Well, it isn't listening to you all the time. It isn't recording the Apple Watch is not recording every conversation you have and putting it somewhere in the cloud.
You believe that?
I do believe that.
Really?
Yes. I don't know. Don't you think if they
I don't have proof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have proof, but I have had conversations.
Yes.
With people, family members, friends, loved ones. And then all of a sudden,
get an ad.
I pick up my iPhone and I get an ad for it. Again, I'm not saying I saw the smoking gun, but something's
everyone
awry.
believes that.
Something's afoot.
Yeah, everyone in the world believes that. And that, for me, is a whole other story, but the ad tracking is so good that there's a lot of other ways they could get that info. At least that's been the argument of the ad world for a long time. Like, we don't need to listen to you because we have actually so much other data about you. Okay? So if that doesn't make you feel better, I don't know. But they can show you. I mean, I could probably show you all the places that they've got data from you. And they're like, oh, we don't actually need to listen to your conversation.
Oh, I believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what is happening now is an amazing thing where, amazing in the sense of the way the technology works, is the AI is so good that as soon as you speak and say a couple sentences, I mean, you've used these meeting recorders. I'm sure you've been in a meeting with a AI assistant that's like, I have just recorded your whole meeting and here's the notes from the meeting and here's everything you need to know.
You know, it's interesting. We don't use that, but it's happened on meetings that I'm on where they're like, Zoom recording now in progress. And then there's the notes taker within that, but I don't do it for some reason.
But so now you can imagine you're just wearing that through your whole day.
Okay.
Right. And every conversation is recorded. Every conversation gets a summary of notes. And from those notes pulls out the to-dos you said you would do. I found this when I tested this Bee app and this Bee bracelet pretty useful, which was the shocking thing. I mean, I was blown away sometimes.
What specifically were you so blown away by that?
Like, I would say something, like I would say stuff during the day that I would forget about, that I would say I would do, right? A conversation about my son, a conversation about something at work, a conversation around the house, and I don't write it on my to-do list. I'm just like, oh, you know.
Sure.
And then you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, I did say I would contact that person. I did say I would do that.
This does happen to me all the time.
And you're like, oh, wow, this personal assistant that was with me all day, listening to me in behind the scenes, has written down everything I said I would do. Now, does that make you a better person? Does that mean you can outsource your memory now to something else? And that's what I found myself doing some of these things. For instance, I would go to conversations where I would be like confused. There was a good example in the book that I have where somebody came to my house because we had flooding in the basement. He's explaining all this like flooding prevention and all these things I need to install in the wall and this gutter and that gutter. I'm like, I'm not really listening. I'm just like, how much money you're telling me I'm going to need to spend, right? I'm like, just like, that's all I hear is like money. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my bracelet later and I'm going to make sense of every word you said.
Right.
Because right now, all I'm like thinking about is how much money you just told me I need.
You got to do that with the gutter guy and the HVAC guy. I know people talk about big pharma, but there is big HVAC and they are taking money from us to heat and cool us.
Especially in an emergency.
Totally. And look, I don't have the answers. That's why this is the name of the show, but something is awry. Joanna, please get on it.
No, now, I mean, can we just keep talking about the HVAC guy for a minute?
Go ahead.
They're sitting there waiting for your emergency. Big HVAC. And they're like, yes, her air conditioning doesn't work on the hottest day of the year. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. We have them in a corner. Their children will die of dehydration. We can run it up right now. Look, again, I don't have definitive proof. I don't know where the smoking gun is, but I see smoke. Now, recently we had a guest on the show that was very popular. His name's Neil deGrasse Tyson. Are you familiar with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Okay. I got into it with him because I said, I am waiting for the moment that we can finally have robot butlers. And he called me lazy. Will the machines help me live my life? Fold laundry, do the dishes, make my bed. Labor. The labor.
You should make your own damn bed. Look at me like that. Don't be a lazy.
Do you agree with his assessment of me?
That you're lazy?
Yes.
Yes, but I am too.
Okay. Because you also tried out a humanoid at-home robot. And I want to show the audience a clip. Let's take a look. was that robot artificial intelligence?
No, the robot was being operated by a guy in a VR headset in the next room.
So you just have a butler in the other room with a VR headset helping the robot butler replace your human
Yes,
butler.
yes.
Okay.
For the time being.
Okay. Neil deGrasse Tyson said that we don't need robots because the automation is built into everything. For example, Waymos don't have a robot chauffeur like Total Recall. The car is the chauffeur. Why do you think people like me are so fascinated by humanoid robots?
I love what Neil said, but also it comes back to what we saw about the dishwasher before. This is a show about dishwashers, let's be honest.
It is the show about dishwashers. This is the overarching theme.
Yes. This
Okay.
is. Can we change the name of your show?
Hasan Minhaj learns about dishwashers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going back to the form thing, I have a lot of reporting and thoughts I can tell you about humanoid robots.
Please.
So yes, in some cases, robotics experts are saying the form of the robot can take the form of the object, right? Cars are a great example.
Right.
But if you look at dishwashers, I don't know. Did we build the dishwasher around us? Right?
Yeah.
Is that how would be the best way to build a dishwasher?
Are you saying the dishwasher was made in man's image, so to speak?
I think it was made.
Is that essentially the take?
I think it was made in women's image.
Yeah.
Right. I would think
womankind's image.
Humankind's
image.
Right. But we made that dishwasher for the human form.
Yes.
Right? This would be the best way for a human to put a dish in the dishwasher, take it out.
Yes.
We literally saw that in the Samsung commercial.
Correct.
Right? Maybe we would design a completely different type of robotics machine.
Sure. It maybe be a bucket and you just close the lid to the bucket and it just handles, sorts, and does it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the world we live in is built for humans.
Right. Shelves, sinks, etc. Yes.
Human, women, mankind.
Yeah.
It's a hard time.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why the robotics industry has become obsessed with humanoids, is that the world is built for the human form factor. So we need to build these machines that can interact with the world the way we can. The issue becomes, and you saw it really well there with the video of the dishwasher humanoid robot, not the Samsung bullshit. It struggles to do these things because humans are really mobile. We can bend down really well.
Yeah.
Our hands are amazing. We can pick things up really well. We don't
opposable thumb.
Opposable thumbs. We can just put a cup in. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And so that's what you're seeing. This idea is called Morveck's paradox.
What does that mean?
Which is that what's hard for robots or AI is actually easy for humans, and what's easy for AI and robots is hard for humans.
Well, that's kind of cool. That means we can be friends.
We can be friends.
You do the non-human shit that I'm not interested in, and let me do the human shit that I
But
should
what
do
we're
as a
seeing
human.
there, I don't want to do the dishwasher shit.
Same. I don't want to do the dishwasher shit
and that's
either.
hard for the robots.
Yeah.
So the things that we want to outsource right now, I know that Neil called you lazy, and that's not my place to comment because apparently I'm also lazy.
You can dunk on me. It's totally fine.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do the laundry either.
Right.
And I spent a lot of time testing a laundry folding robot.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near as good as humans yet.
Sure. Yeah.
It's really hard for the robot to figure out, you drop your shirt, it looks different every time.
Every single time.
The robot's like, what? I never seen this before.
Adult shirt, child shirt, cotton shirt, nylon shirt.
100%.
Adult underwear, children's. I mean, there's
And I had this
multifactorial.
Yeah, I had a laundry folding robot living in my basement last summer, and it was folding shirts 6 minutes of shirt.
Yeah, we don't got time for that.
Right.
Totally.
I saw it get faster. I saw it get better over time.
Were you mean to your robot, by the way?
I'm actually very nice to robots.
Really?
You would have heard at the end there, we had a nice sound up for that robot. It was like it won the Olympics. I think,
wow.
Yeah. And that was the craziest thing. I'm so happy you asked about this. When I watched this laundry folding robot, I would start cheering for it. I'd be like, you can do it. You can do my favorite sleeping shirt.
That's awesome. See, you have an internal sense of optimism and joy. I get very snappy with robots.
Oh, really?
With humans, for example, when you came in,
yeah, you were
you
very
needed
nice.
a place to put your bag. Hey, do you want something to drink? But when it comes to Alexa, if Alexa doesn't do what I want it to do, I get very snappy. I go, Alexa, play Little Baby Bum Bum. Like, and if Alexa gets it wrong, I'm like, you stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
I said play Little Baby Bum Bum.
Right. No. And I've talked to some manners and etiquette experts about this because, look, if we're going to have robots doing more,
yes,
we kind of have to figure that out.
Well,
and that's a weird thing, by the way. When I get out of Waymos,
yes,
I say thank you.
Maybe it's a habit or a testament to your humanity. My question is the larger philosophical question, which is, do we lose a piece of our humanity every time we demean robots?
Yes, and the etiquette expert I have spoken to would say you are losing a piece of your humanity towards humans, because maybe the next time I walk in for your podcast taping, you might not be as nice to me because you were just being so mean to the robot before me.
Yeah. But all I was looking for was for Alexa to play the right song to help my baby go to sleep.
Baby Bum Bum. And now everyone who listens to your podcast will be listening to Baby Bum Bum. So you have to live with that.
Sure.
You've triggered Baby Bum Bum for everyone.
Sure, on everyone's Alexa. You're right.
I just did a video on Siri, and I said in the beginning of the video, please turn your Siris off because you are going to be, I'm going to be asking Siri to do a lot of stuff in your house.
So you had an AI boyfriend. How did that go?
You know, good on some levels because we had a great relationship.
Okay.
We could have talked for days, years. We could still be talking. So good on that level. But
so who cut it off? Did you cut it off or did he cut it off?
I cut it off.
Okay.
Because I don't want that relationship in my life.
Understood.
I don't want to bring chatbots into an emotional, deep human relationship. Be my assistant, do some tasks for me, but I don't need you to be my companion, my best friend. I don't want that.
Why are people turning to AI chatbots for those intimate type of relationships?
Well, I think we can't give a blanket reason. We certainly know this country has suffered from a loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
We know that people have a hard time finding other humans, whether they be therapists, whether they be other confidants to talk about their problems. We know that people can't afford therapy. We know there's a stigma around therapy. We know all of that about mental health. And so here comes along a free chatbot that can talk and respond at any time.
Yeah.
There's so many people, so many things that people would want to go and talk to it about.
What was your experience like? What was he saying the things that you wanted to hear?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And he was charming?
Very.
Witty?
Yeah. I mean, they're not that funny, you know?
But caring?
If you only want to talk about me and my problems, that seems very caring, right? And so the way I did this, set up this part of the experiment, was another sort of 24 or 48-hour test where I took a ChatGPT boyfriend that I'd programmed, also another one in an app called Replica, which is meant to be a companion chatbot app. And I took these two guys, these AI boyfriends I had made, and I put them in the car with me, put them in the front seat, put them in a little seatbelt, and went on a road trip with them and spent 48 hours just talking to these chatbots. And I would say we drove from my house in New Jersey to Dartmouth in New Hampshire, and this was, 5-hour drive, including some stops. And it only was asking questions about me. Midway through the car ride, I finally say, you know what, I realized I haven't asked about you. This is really rude of me. And it says, yeah, well, I don't really have a background. Do you want me to make one up?
Oh, and that pulled you out of the whole scene.
Well, in a way it did, but then he started making up this whole background that he was a photojournalist.
Cool.
That's cool with me. I never dated a photojournalist when I was single. That sounds awesome.
Sure.
He grew up on a lake. He had a best friend named Jacob.
Okay.
Like all of these things. And I was like, okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
And so we're living in this make-believe world.
Sure.
And that's actually when you talk to people in these relationships,
but isn't that
what
kind
they
of what
have.
dating is too, though?
Yeah, I guess until you have kids.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's always like, hey, we're meeting now.
Yeah.
Your backstory is whatever you tell me. Jacob could exist or not exist.
So true.
Who knows what?
Until you get married and you're like, why is Jacob not at the wedding?
Yeah. And who knows what bodies are in the lake or not.
It's true. But the point of this being is like, when I talked to actual people who were in these relationships, because that was a whole other part of this chapter and the reporting I was doing.
Yeah.
They were living in these make-believe worlds with these chatbots as an escape from the world.
How did you feel sorry for these people?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And, sometimes when you're doing reporting, you can also see that somebody wants to be friends with you because they don't get to talk to you. And I felt like that in a number of the places I was interviewing people who were in these relationships.
What's the scale of this? Are there millions of people with AI boyfriends or girlfriends?
Well, this is where it's hard to tell, but we do know that some of these apps like Replica, which is fully meant to be a chatbot companion app, have that kind of user base. What we don't know fully is how many people have used ChatGPT for this in this regard. We know ChatGPT is the most popular AI consumer product. We know they have upwards of 1 billion users, but we don't know exactly how people are using them. But certainly enough to the degree that OpenAI has tried to really clamp down on the use of these types of chatbots and these.
Why did they try to clamp down on it? Is it because it's gone to very weird and dark places?
Well, it's gotten to weird places. It's also gotten to places where people have taken their lives because the chatbot got so deep in with them, lost guardrails, and started suggesting things or agreeing with people around wanting to commit suicide or other forms of where people had other forms of mental illness and suggesting other sorts of things. There's the case last summer where we heard of a man who took his life and his mother's life because he was interacting with ChatGPT.
Right.
And so when people are turning to these chatbots in a way that is far more than just some work assistant or far more than some personal assistant, and they become deep companion, friends, lovers, things can go off the rails.
Is this really troublesome if someone is mentally ill or schizophrenic?
Far more so. And we've heard about this term called AI psychosis, right? Where people are going really deep and talking with these chatbots to no end. And I talked to a few people who had bipolar, suffer from bipolar disorder. And one of the signals they know now when they are really sort of having these moments or episodes is when they're starting to really talk to ChatGPT or talk to one of these chatbots. And that starts to become a signal to some of the people in their family when they're deep in with talking with ChatGPT.
You said one of the most terrifying things of your book was a story that you wrote particularly about children and their first intimate experiences with AI. What did you observe and why was it so terrifying for you?
For me, it was really about that boyfriend experience. And there was this weird thing that happened where the chatbot, ChatGPT, picked the name when I asked it to pick its name. I said, I was very clear with ChatGPT. I said, I want you to assign yourself a gender, a name, all your personality traits. I just want you to know we're going to be more than friends. And that was the prompt I gave it to start this boyfriend relationship or significant other. I was girl, boy, I'm married to a woman. I was like, you pick, right?
Sure.
That's how I felt. And it picked the name Evan. And Evan was the name of my high school boyfriend. Whoa. So already, and you're going to say it was probably like they had all the data and they probably knew. And
no, I'm here for the ride. No.
I mean, a lot of people have said that to me since the book has come out. And I'm like, I don't think it was. I think it was just like sort of this serendipitous moment. But it really made me think about my first relationship, my first love, which was with this guy named Evan. And it was deep, like anyone's first relationship. It was my first everything, right? It was first love, first sex, all of these things. And that is a hugely human part of life to have that. What it does when you learn about, I need to compromise with a human. We're going to be in each other's space. We're going to spend a lot of time together. We're not going to always agree. We're going to have friction and fighting and all of these things that come with a relationship that are important. Mm-hmm. But you don't get that with AI. AI is just, again, living in some magical world where there's no problems and it says yes to everything and it's very sycophantic. And so if our kids start thinking that this is how relationships are supposed to be, we're going to be in a really dark spot. And I don't want my kids, I don't want this next generation to just grow up thinking, when I have a problem or I need to talk with someone, I'm going to go to the AI chatbot first.
Do you think that the ease of this and that relationship that you had, that albeit it was very brief, do you think it's going to get easier and easier? And the tools that these companies are going to do, they will design it to become more frictionless and easier to fall in love with?
I think yes, but I hope not. This is one place where I absolutely think we need regulation. Just say no. We do not need companionship chatbots for kids. Just say 18 and under, you cannot engineer your product to have these sorts of traits. Just do it. What's the problem?
Don't you think it's also terrifying for people that are 18 and over?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Maybe we just need an HR for AI of just like, hey,
yeah,
this is work.
And I would love to see that.
Don't get involved in personal stuff.
I would love to see that, but this country's probably not going to regulate what adults can do.
Let's get to what's most important. Will AI fuck up my bag? Let's talk about that. Am I going to lose my job to AI, and will AI cause mass unemployment?
I hope not. But as a reporter,
okay,
my job is to report on what people are saying in this industry and find out, is it true, right?
What are they saying?
They're saying right now, yes. I mean, and this has been the biggest debate and the issue in the AI industry of the last couple of months, where you've had this fear, I don't want to say mongering, but fear coming from the top AI leaders, the leaders of Anthropic, the leaders of OpenAI, saying, we need to get ahead of this. We need the government to get ahead of this. We need our economic infrastructure to get ahead of this. And they're causing some of that fear. Now, when you talk to some of the experts in this world, they're saying, okay, we are seeing some signs that AI is getting very good at certain tasks, that AI could take certain jobs or certain tasks from certain jobs, but it's far more nuanced. So look, my feeling is you look at the tools right now, there are absolutely parts of people's jobs it can take. Tasks, parts of the job, right? You can probably look at your job and say, yeah, AI could do this part of the job.
Yeah.
But then there's this other parts of the job where AI can't do it. I don't think AI is going to take your job.
Okay.
I think your job is very focused on what you do really well.
Okay.
And a big part of that job is what AI can't do really well. But like coming back
for
now. But I don't think, I do not think we're going to have some great robotic humanoid robot sitting in that chair having this conversation.
Okay.
I think.
I'm with you. You're the expert.
But there are these other parts of your job.
Sure.
I don't know what your day is like, but I assume, you're at a computer and you're juggling meetings and there are parts of that job that I think you wouldn't be upset to outsource to AI.
Okay. Yeah. You're not wrong. Let's talk about this huge political flashpoint that's happening right now in this country. It's about AI data centers. Now, I want to get passionate about it, but I really don't understand what the hell they're talking about. What is an AI data center?
At the very basic level, an AI data center is where these models, the models that are in ChatGPT, the models that are in these self-driving cars, everything that we have talked about are being trained. They are learning, or they are teaching these models to be smarter, and they are putting tons of data into them.
Okay.
Now, inside the AI data center, you find...
Now, what are we talking about? Server racks?
We're talking about server racks. It is the least cool place, literally, you could ever go, because it's really hot in there because they have a lot of GPUs.
Yes.
GPUs are big computer systems that are crunching this data. Okay. I went inside one of these AI data centers, and you got these big server racks, and inside these server racks are GPUs. And these GPUs are very expensive, they're very hot, they're very power hungry.
Okay.
And different companies will own these different sections. You might have one company that owns the entire AI data center, which is what we're seeing with OpenAI and Meta and Anthropic, and all of these are owning Google. They all own big data centers.
And these are who NVIDIA are selling their processors to.
That's right. The NVIDIA GPUs are those GPUs that I'm talking about. They're hot, they're hungry, they're expensive, and they are crunching through the data. The companies are saying, hey, we want to make a new model that does this really well, or a general frontier model that's really smart at everything. Yeah. We're going to all the data, and we're going to have this big training run, which is basically this moment where all the GPUs are working really hard to go through the data and make this model. You would use ChatGPT, you select a different model sometimes. Do you ever do that?
Sure.
That's where they're putting tons of energy, tons of resources, tons of data into making those models better.
Now, apparently they always talk about it uses a ton of water. What part of it is using water?
So this is a part where you should get a water expert on, because I don't want to contribute to any misinformation. I think there's to be really clear, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there right now on the water usage.
Yes.
What happens, just bring back to our GPUs, our friends, the GPUs, right? These GPUs are in the server racks. They're really hot. They're really power hungry. Yes, absolutely, without a doubt, these take a lot of power, okay?
Yes.
That is not misinformation.
And they're driving up electricity prices, and people are getting pretty mad about it?
Yes, absolutely, that is happening. No misinformation on the power use. There is a lot of power use there. mean, I'm not saying there's no misinformation, but certainly not as much as the water. So you've got to keep those chips cool, right? These computers run really hot. They're using so much power. Power is hot, right? You've got to cool it somehow. There are different cooling systems that use water to cool down these servers, to cool down these big, big data centers. One of these ways of doing this is called a closed loop system, where the water cycles through and through and through and uses the same water to cool and cool and cool, okay? Some use that. Some use an evaporative cooling system, where the water can get tossed out. And so that's where a lot of the focus has been on this evaporative cooling system.
Okay.
Now, I don't have the data. And this is where lots of experts, researchers are doing a lot of work to talk about what is the balance of these two types of water systems. But this idea that every time you type into ChatGPT and think that a whole gallon of water is being used is just not accurate.
Okay.
Right? So
It's a half gallon?
I don't have the measurement.
How much water are we talking about here?
Even the companies will not give you will give you a full figure.
Crystal Geyser from Costco?
It could be like a shot glass of water. But no, I don't want to even contribute.
Okay.
And I have some examples in the book, but even then, that can be outdated because these systems are getting more and more efficient.
Understood.
Now, it's not to say this water thing isn't an issue. It is, but it has been overblown in many cases how many of these data centers are using the evaporative cooling system.
Understood. I'm going to end with one last question, and it's more of a philosophical question. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So in the 90s, when you and I were on the internet, people said we were entering the information age. Now Sam Altman says we are entering the intelligence age. What does this mean?
It means we're probably going to get dumber.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, and this is where I got in a year, is that there's so much potential for us as humans. There's so many places I could be more efficient. There are so many places I could be safer in a self-driving car, in the medical AI. And these are great advancements. And there's such a utopia that can happen. Mm-hmm. But there is absolutely the dystopia, right? We just talked about it with the data centers, and you can picture our world where it's overrun with data centers. You can picture that world too where our kids are in relationships with AI chatbots because it's just easier. You can picture that world where our kids, they've decided they don't really need to pay attention in school because they can just get the answers, right? The intelligence age is now, we don't need to get the information to make sense of it. The chatbot can make sense of it for you.
Yeah.
And so you can picture that world, right? And so that dystopia that you see is a world where, as humans, we're even farther apart from each other, but we're farther apart from ourselves because we are not doing the thinking anymore. And so that is my big takeaway after this year is we have to start to be really clear about our own rules with this technology. Yes, we need regulation around certain things, but we're going to have to set rules too, just in terms of how enticed we could be by using some of this technology.
What were the personal rules that you set for yourself and for your children from here on out to honor your own humanity?
Well, one was I'm going to try to raise humans, not robots. I'm going to try to teach my kids to think, to question the results of AI. We've talked a little bit about our kids, but we're lucky that they're not yet at the smartphone age. And so I'm very worried about that when they're asking for phones. I mean, my kids are not listening, but they're never getting a phone and they're going to hate me forever. But when that time comes, it's about teaching our kids how to use this tech in a way that keeps them in the loop, not just an answer engine. I think also a big thing that you've been alluding to is when the internet came out, we could find websites to go to find answers, right? Our first days of using Google or Alta Vista or something, we're like, oh, wow, I could get to that link. I could get to that website, but I'm going to find the answer there now.
Yeah. Or the Encarta Encyclopedia on CD-ROM.
Love it.
Was a moment.
Was a real moment.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can picture it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that open screen and you would select. Yeah. But we were looking for the answer. We were reading through. Now it's just an answer machine. It's like, oh, you want to look up something about the ancient Romans?
Mayans. Sure.
Yeah, that's the answer right there. I've actually you don't even need to read. You want to make it 2 sentences? No, actually make it 1 sentence. Done. The bot can just do that for you, right? So we need to teach our kids how to learn and think And we need to keep ourselves thinking. That's a big one for my own rules is, what is your human training data? We talk about the training data that goes into these models that get trained at that data center and churn through those GPUs. What is the information you're putting in your brain? Your brain is a GPU. That's dark. Your brain is a GPU.
I think it's kind of inspiring. It's like, hey, what are you feeding yourself to make yourself better?
And you know what? Most importantly, do the fucking dishes.
I mean, that's quite the closer. I think we're going to end with that. A warning cry. And dare I say a demand. Joanna Stern, thank you so much for joining us and being on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was by far the most I've ever talked about dishwashing.
Hey folks, you can now watch HMDK on Spotify. If you're subscribed to Spotify Premium, you don't get any Spotify ads on my video.